It's a beautiful morning. It was windy last night, blew all the smoke out of here. We had a smoky day yesterday from the California wildfires, but it's nice and clear today.
We're just different.
Nicer.
I don't know if you've done any of Andy's cows, but he put a tremendous amount of effort and 20 years in growing the best beef he can.
Buying good semen.
Yeah. Well, and even bulls, I guess. He spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on bulls. But he finishes his out on the feedlot, basically, on corn.
Right.
And this guy's put on grass.
The first step in the process here is to raise the steer up, and so that's what he's doing here. He's getting ready to put a hook on the back legs there to raise it up so you can start skinning it and go through the rest of the process of quartering it. This is definitely something that takes a lot of skill. I suppose we could figure this out. I've seen enough of it. I've been around it, but it's also a lot of work, and it would be fairly difficult for us to do. And it's just between all the equipment and knowing how to do all the cuts, it just makes a lot more sense for us to have someone else do this. So there he's got it ready, and now he'll, sort of work it as he raises it up further and further. Now our goal in this whole process is to use as much of the animal as we can. And so we decided we would keep the hide, and we would have a tannery tan it for us, and we're going to keep the tail. We're going to keep as many of the organs as we reasonably can, and the tongue. There's definitely some parts that we won't be able to use really, but that's what he's doing here. He's skinning the tail so that we can make some soup out of it. And we did actually eat the soup. It was or the stew, kind of. It was interesting and different. The tail's very fatty, and so we actually made broth out of it as well after we were finished with the stew. So now he has the carcass open, and so here you can see the stomach and various other internals. So these are really heavy, and it just takes a lot of skill to do what he's doing here. Now, as far as the weight, the animal probably was around 1,100 pounds. I was hoping he was a little heavier, but a lot of the weight of the animal is actually just waste, and there's just nothing that can be done with the stomach and some of the other organs. So what we're gonna do is put this back in the ground so it can decompose there, and maybe we'll plant a tree at some point where it would take advantage of that. But we basically just have to get rid of it. We don't want it to go to a landfill, and so it actually will decompose in a hole in the ground very nicely. And here you can see there's the liver, and so we will keep that and eat it. It's actually quite tasty. And just to give you an idea of how skilled he is, this is real time. It literally took him, 5 minutes or so to do this. It's just crazy fast. So there's no way that Saving Miller is going to be actually doing the butchering of the steers, at least for a while.
£1,000-pound steer typically will dress about 55%.
Wow.
But he's got nice marble.
Good.
For a grass-fed beef, he actually is really nice. You can see. This is his first ribeye.
Okay.
You can see all these lines of fat. For a grass-fed beef this age, that's very good.
That's encouraging to hear.
That's where the guy's money on bulls or semen is paid off. On a grass-fed beef, that's almost unheard of.
Wow.
Or unseen, I guess. You would, on a typical beef animal, you'd have to grain him about 120 days to get that finish.
That looks pretty good too.
Well, for a grass-fed beef that would great choice, that just doesn't happen.
So we brought this deer to the farm almost a year ago, a couple of weeks short of a year. And so he was just over 600 pounds when we brought him. So he put on approximately 400 pounds just on the grass here on the farm. Now, I do think we didn't make much progress over the summer. I think the winter rye that we had was much better for putting on weight, and that's probably where a lot of the fat came from. So next time maybe we'll see how the other one turns out, because he'll be on the rye and he'll have been on the farm about 6 months longer. So we'll see. It's very interesting. I was hoping we'd be about 200 pounds heavier, but definitely we're very happy with the quality too. And this is going to be a lot of meat. We are going to sell half of it, at least half of it, maybe more, so that it won't sit in the freezer too long. We think that a quarter will be enough for us for about 6 months or so, until the next one is ready. And so here before long I have to go and get another calf, and that would be from the spring calves. So this is how we intend to raise our beef, and this is how we're going to process it. We think that just having the steer right on the grass here and having the butcher come is a great way to go. And this guy is really, really good at what he does. He does he dresses about 3 most days when he's out, and then he cuts them up in his shop once that's finished. So cutting these halves actually takes a while, and here you can see once they're in half, then he rolls them inside. And so we're going to be left with the hide and the entrails there, and we're going to have to figure out how to deal with those.
Alrighty guys, so Bob the butcher has headed off, and before he left he helped me drag this big beautiful hide over here under the shade structure, and I am having the job of salting it. So I stretched it all out, and now the next step is getting a good layer of salt on there. And I ended up getting salt from a swimming pool supply store just because it's cheap and you can get a large quantity in nice big bags. This is a 40-pound bag, so I put about, so far I have about 50-60 pounds on this, and this is just the first salting, and then I'm going to dump this off and put a second coat on. So I've never done this before, and so I am learning as I go. But before the salt went on, I did trim up a little bit more. There was a little bit of extra fat that we cut off before I started this, but he did a really good job of cleaning it up for us before he left. So far it hasn't been too big of a an investment in my time. And then once we have it dried out a little bit and it's not quite as heavy, we will send it off. We found a guy who will tan the hide for us, so we should see. We'll let you know how this goes. At this point, this thing weighs probably about 150 pounds, 120, 150 pounds. So we want it to get it a little lighter, dry it out, and then we'll wrap it up and ship it. So the last messy step in our long day is shoving all those entrails into a big hole. Boy, the tractor made this so much easier. What do you think, Mini Farmer? The first cow that we processed. Are you excited to eat sirloin?
Look at white and red.
No, that's not. That's just the entrails. That's the parts we don't eat. We pushed it in the hole so wild animals don't come, and we buried it. It's so heavy we couldn't even pick it up. That might have weighed 500 pounds.
You could get sick.
Yeah, that's the stomach and intestines. That's the stuff we don't want to eat.
Yeah, you will get sick and die.
Well, we're excited about this adventure today, and I am very happy to soon have a whole cow in the freezer. And thanks to Mr. Farmer for his tractor and all his hard work taking care of these cows all year. He did a great job, and hopefully you'll be inspired that you can raise a cow as well. Thanks for watching. Saving Miller out.
Saving